You damn player haters never wanna see me blow. Flamboyant entertainment, CEO. Yo, the spotlight is mine, it ain't his no more. When Lee come home, niggas can't.
Yeah, we back. What's going on? Ooh, I got some adjustments to make on my camera. All right. What's good, everybody? What is happening? What you watching? What y'all watching? I know what y'all been watching. We got the report for the all males. What is it? Netball? I'm not sure what netball is completely, but you know the rules. All boys netball team beats the all girls netball team in, what was it, the championship or state tournament? Okay. Been raising a lot of talk, so I figured I'd see what was up with it because I haven't really quite looked at it in detail. You know, you catch clips here and there, and somebody saying some of this and some of that, but what I've been watching. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that is what the topic is about. That's what the video we're gonna be doing today. Only reason I'm talking about this is because it's getting out of hand. If a netball, which I'm not completely sure what that sport is, a netball tournament can raise this much controversy, there must be a problem or a double standard, which is probably the problem. You see what I'm saying? I touched on this a little bit with MMA. When it comes to sports, women and men, whether you be natural or trans, your body functions different. It's a fact. People got all these feelings, but the feelings ain't helping with the facts. Because your feelings is going to get somebody hurt. Physically. I ain't talking about feelingly, I'm talking about physically. And it could lead to some permanent or even death. In the case of the MMA fighter who fought the transgender male and got her skull broken. Like literally broke her freaking skull. Her skull. When the last time you broke a skull? Broke plenty of arms and broke plenty of fingers. Not me personally. I've never broken a bone so far. We knock on some wood. But if that was even real wood, I don't know if that was real wood. I'm gonna knock on some wood in a minute. But yeah, somebody gonna seriously get hurt. I said this was even my title. Somebody gonna get killed. Had a piece of that bone fragment went into her skull, she'd probably have some permanent damage, some permanent life-changing damage, or even death, which in itself is life-changing. No pun intended, but that's just, again, the fact. This all women's team went against an all males team and apparently got beat so bad that it was all over the news. Without having watched the full video, I'm going to say that there's a double standard being placed. Everybody wants to talk about the leftists and the rightists, and what is that? Like, it's just bull. It's divisive. That's what it is. It's just divisive. It's a divisive system. Oh, you're a leftist. You're a rightist. I'm left-handed. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm a leftist. But whatever you talking about leftist is, ain't the same thing I'm talking about being a lefty is. See that switch there? Yeah. That's where I'm going with this. All right, so yeah. This is one of those additions to whoa videos. Cause I'm thinking that this is gonna be like, whoa. Whoa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's go. We got, it's called Absolutely Outrageous. So somebody is like highly offended at this. All male netball team beats girls in state tournament. Let's dive in.
An all-boys netball team is allowed to compete against an all-girls team for the state title.
Hold on. I thought I heard something else, but then I realized that she has a heavy accent and she said netball way too fast. It almost sounded like she said nipple. I was like, I had to look at the video. I'm like, oh, all right. Wait, did I pull up the wrong damn thing? Slow it down with the netball. When you get the accent, it sounds like nipple.
Now the all-boys team
No jokes.
Every match, running up huge score lines, including a 30-goal victory in the grand final. All the while.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
In the grand final. All the while, parents watch every match, running up huge score lines, including a 30-goal victory in the grand final. All the while, parents watch on. They're angry, but they're powerless from the sidelines. Now, it all sounds like a bit of fiction, doesn't it? A Hollywood movie. That's exactly what happened at the Queensland Netball Titles earlier this week, where the all-male Queensland Suns blitzed their all-female competitors to be crowned the Queensland Under-18 state champions. Now, it's been labelled crazy and unfair, but netball...
Oh, now it's unfair. Somebody let this happen. Oh, that's a netball? Is basketball without a backboard? All right. It's unfair now. Who let it happen? This gender equality stuff is like ridiculous. It's out of hand. There's things that women do that men can't do or are not as good at. There's things that men do that women can't do or not as good at. Can we just recognize that for a fact that it is? You got all this heterosexual versus homosexual battles, divisive. You got all this gender neutral. What is gender neutral? Everybody is a gender. Whether you want to deal with it or not, you're a gender. Whether you cut it off or whatever you do with it, you're still a gender. Your body functions as one or the other. You need chemicals and you need outside influence as far as like medicines and stuff in order to somewhat change to the other that you're trying to do. And I say somewhat because you're never going to completely be. There's not going to be a dude that can completely change into a female. There's not going to be a female who can completely change into a male. It's not. You can't. It ain't. Stop. I mean, do what you do, but stop pushing it on everybody else. Now there's this thing called cisgender. You call me fucking cis, I'm going to be pissed. I'm ready to fucking, I ain't no cis. That's some bullshit. It's all this labeling stuff. It's just divisive. This is all divisive. Stop trying to divide. You preach divisive, but you want to come together. Make up your mind. Make up your freaking mind. All males versus all females. What did you think was going to happen? What did, in something physical? Come on now. Can we make some sense? Can somebody start thinking? Can somebody start thinking?
Queensland is refusing to apologise.
Hell no.
Co-founder of Save Women's Sport.
Why should they apologize?
Catherine Deves. Catherine, you may have been a netballer in your day. I was. I played mixed netball, but I don't know if I'd like to be in a team of women going up against...
Mixed. You want to be included? Mixed. That way you could put a guy versus a guy. Hey, yo, dude, you got this dude right here. You got to go guard him. Yo, go guard her. You know what I mean? You could adjust in mixed. There's mixed type sports everywhere. But when you have like one versus the other and it's absolutely divided of this is male and this is female on something physical, like sports, what did you think was going to happen? even if the males are kind of feminine, they still have the advantage of being male. What did you think was going to happen? Males typically have a quicker reaction time when it comes to things like that, because we are like meant for like things like battle. That's why there's testosterone naturally in males, because you're meant to be a function of this. You know what? When somebody gets seriously hurt, and the parents of whoever gets seriously hurt decides to raise their voice, then we're going to be hearing about that. And then everybody who's been sitting here talking about this is going to be like, we told you so. Like, what did you think was going to happen? We've been saying this for years. All right, let's go. I'm rambling.
Against a team of athletic men who in their right mind thought
Let's restart with this. Let's just back a little bit.
Netball, but I don't know if I'd like to be in a team of women going up against a team of athletic men who in their right mind thought this was okay.
Thank you.
Look, I was a field hockey player, but what I'd like to say is that when Netball Australia says this is all about inclusion, who's being included here? Because it's certainly not the women and girls. They're being
I don't know if y'all caught that, but that's that double standard shit right there. Women need to speak up more. If you don't want this to be going on, you need to speak up against the whole picture, the whole thing. Because men talking about it ain't gonna get it done. Women need to be talking about this. Women need to put their foot down. The whole one side versus one side, I agree, it needs to stop. It's just, y'all ain't gonna win no trophies. I'm just saying. When it comes to competition, men, next they're gonna be talking about let the women win. Why? Participation trophy?
excluded. They're being expected to yet again sacrifice their sports to make sure that men and boys feel included and men and boys feel good about themselves. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous, and I'm not surprised that the parents are absolutely furious about this, and I am sure that if the girls were asked privately, they would also be very unhappy with what's happening here.
But they did not speak up. If that women's team had a spoke up and been like, no, this is unfair, you wouldn't be sitting here watching this report right now. Speak up. You want to act like you got balls? Speak like you got balls. I'm just metaphorically speaking. I'm just saying. I get it. It ain't meant to be offensive, but you know the metaphor. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're referring to a statement by the Netball Queensland CEO, Catherine Clark. I'll put it up on the screen for people. She said that we stand by the decision to choose inclusion over exclusion. Let's judge the decision in 12 months' time and see how many boys and men's team we have. Because if you can't be it if you can't see it if you can't be it. Now, I've no issue if there's a male competition, but why would you have a state competition that's predominantly always been women and suddenly bring the blokes in and have the blokes win the grand final 30 goals to...
I'm not up on my Australian slang. Well, she could have just said boys instead of blokes. Like, is that offensive? I never had somebody call me a bloke. I don't know how to take that. And have the blokes win. Are you calling us blokes because you're mad? What is a... I'm gonna have to do some study on this bloke thing. I feel like I don't know how to take that. Of course, I'm not up in my Australian slang game, though. But bloke kind of sounds like it's a shot.
To the women's team, that doesn't seem fair to me.
You should be taking shots at Catherine.
No, when we watch women's sports, we want to see the best women and girls that the world has to offer. We don't want to see
Versus
men and boys
other women and girls.
on the netball court or
Dude.
on the podium. And
Is that the team that won? It looks like a disadvantage, and I ain't even seen the women's team. But if I was to walk onto a court and see these guys, I would think somebody on here could play.
Frankly, I'd like to say to these boys, they should have forfeited.
Hold on, who should have forfeited? Okay, that's the boys' team, I'm guessing, and that's the girls' team. And one, there's only 3 of them that I can like clearly see to compare with the physicality. Uh, look at that kid. Was it? It looks like GK or 60. I can't tell because his uniform is wrinkled on the boys' team. Look at his arm compared to the tallest girl's arm. They look like if his head was up, they'd be about the same size. Clearly a physical mismatch. And somebody thought this was a good idea. Hey, Catherine, you might want to look in front of you and stop this inclusive shit. Because you're going to get somebody hurt or humiliated. Now, this girls' team, speaking of humiliation, how's that mentally damaged them as far as coming in competition sports and all this other stuff? Like, you know, somebody took it really hard. It was the state championship. Like, come on now. I'm sure there was another female team that this female team competed against that at least gave them a good enough run that you didn't have to put a male team against them. Now, high scores, what did you expect? Well, let's back up. Let's see who the hell was this was.
To offer, we don't want to see men and boys taking up space on the netball court or on the podium. And frankly, I'd like to say to these boys, they should have forfeited. I mean, if they wanted
The boys should have forfeited.
they should have
No.
done what women and girls have always historically done over the years and decades and centuries of fighting for equality, for access to sporting opportunities. And we've gotten out there, we've done the recruiting, we've done the fundraising, we've built our own leagues. And here you have these boys going, oh, I want to be included, so I'm just going to jump on in with the women, and I don't care about their right to fair competition, don't care about their right to safety. I'm just going to play. So,
You see how she just spun that? She blamed the boys win on the boys. Well, yeah, it's their fault for being put in a mismatch freaking spot like that. No, I'm not falling for that. Why should the boys forfeit? That's called the easy win. It was a woman that made the call for the all-inclusive thing. You should be jumping on her. Not the boys' team. Not the women's team. You should be jumping on the commission that okayed this shit. Like, come on now. Y'all mad at the wrong person. Or persons. I ain't trying to be offensive, but that's just what it is. The boys was like, hey, you gonna throw us in a easy win competition? It was obviously an easy win because they blew them out in every match. And they said even some of the matches was 30 plus points. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? This is common sense. I don't know where she's going with this. Like, this is that double standard stuff. Now you want to be mad at the boys' team because they didn't forfeit? Nah. It's all inclusive, remember?
yet again, we're seeing male entitlement, a lovely example of it here from Netball Australia.
Male
Yeah,
entitlement.
of course, women have fought for a long time in AFL to get a women's league up. I mean, if this sort of decision stands, you'd be putting men into the women's AFL league, even though there is already a men's AFL league, and you're taking the cause of women's sport back by decades. I would have got another issue. The International Olympic Committee, they've delayed the release of the new transgender guidelines until next year due, they say, to an apparent conflicting opinion. But the IOC's Medical and Science Director, Dr. Richard Budgett, has reassured athletes that the guidelines will prioritise both inclusion and the avoidance of harm. How is it possible to do that if you're going to have biological male athletes again compete against women?
Well, you can't. Quite frankly, as I've said, when you have inclusion of men and boys or men and boys with a special self declared identity, women and girls lose out. Now, if you look at the principles of sport, fair competition, player safety and welfare, and inclusion, you cannot equally balance those. And what the IAC
Really? You don't say. Interesting. I'm not even gonna say nothing. Cause next, I'm gonna have the LGBTQ. I'm not even used to saying all them. Like, what is all them titles? Like, why can't you just be a couple things? You gotta have the whole alphabet. Oh snap! You see the book in the background? It says trans. Wonder what that book's about. She apparently studies this stuff. Double talking ass. Now it's all right. So it was a huge breakthrough during the Olympics. Then you got transgender men breaking women's world records and Olympic records and whatever records else got broken, because I don't even really keep up with the Olympics no more neither. Talking about celebration this and celebration that. Yeah, celebrate what? That's a dude that just broke a woman's record. I mean, like in weightlifting, something that's clearly a guy thing. When it comes to weight, guys are going to notoriously be able to lift more than women, especially when that's the specific sport is lifting weight. You think that all the training in the world is supposed to count for something when you have a gender based, all inclusive advantage, we'll say. Come on, this is just common sense. This is like beyond being irritated by it, because people are just going to keep doing it. I don't get it. I don't get how this ain't common sense.
are doing here is they're yet again going to prioritise inclusion, and they're going to put the burden of giving up fair competition and safety on women. So it's just it's completely outrageous, and they should just face up to the fact that they are prioritising the inclusion of males and admit it, instead of pretending that they're trying to be fair to everybody, because they're not.
Now it's the inclusion of males. I remember the most noise being made by women who felt like they were in unequal, as being like included in this and included in that. And I want to point out that it was a woman that made the decision to put the males in the freaking contest. Don't jump on the male's team. Don't jump on the woman's team. Jump on the woman that stands by the decision that she made. Well, we're going to check this out for the next 6 to 12 months. Why? I don't know how many times I done seen title studies show that blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, wasn't that common sense? How many studies do we have to prove common sense? This is common biology. This is like simple biology. This ain't even like deep science. Why? Like, hey, I'm trying to pick the right words because I don't want to flame nobody up. I just wanted to check out what this video was about. But I feel like it's bullshit. Especially when it comes to sports. And sports should be simple. You either mix it or you separate it. You can't have one versus the other, because there's going to be a mismatch. There's going to be a mismatch. When the last time you heard of, in the Roman times, A female gladiator. I don't recall any. I'm just saying. This is simple science. This is common freaking sense right here. Everybody up in their feelings. Stop with the feelings. Go with the facts. Because the feelings is going to get somebody hurt. The feelings is going to get somebody killed. The feelings is going to make somebody commit some kind of something act that they would normally be. And then everybody going to be like, well, I don't know why they would be pushed to that limit. I didn't see this coming. We all seen it coming. Because everybody running around here full of bull. Like, I'm beyond being able to explain it without. This is madness. And the madness is they jumping on the boys' team instead of jumping on the woman who okayed the whole damn thing. Now everybody mad. What did you think it was going to be, a competition? Netball is basically basketball. What did you think was going to happen? You don't see the WNBA playing against the NBA when it comes to any of the rounds of the finals. You don't see the women's hockey team playing against the boys' hockey team. Do you know what happens when you get... Hey, you can get some serious speed on some skates. You get some serious speed on some skates, and you weigh 200 pounds, and you hit this female in any type of condition as far as like training goes, weightlifting goes, and yada, yada, yada. You got a 200-pound male versus a 100 and something pound female. And I'm going to say 100 and something pound because I'm assuming she's going to have some considerable muscle, being that it's a contact sport. He runs her into the boards. She's staying down. You know what I'm saying? That's a train wreck. You got the men. Hey, I don't think there's no apology. I think the people that run the damn program should be apologizing. If anybody should be saying I'm sorry, if anybody should be held accountable, it should be the people that run the freaking all these committees. All of these people that sit in these committees, and you're supposed to be regarded as a high thinker and forward thinker and all this other stuff, and you can't see this? GTFOH. Go ahead. I hope the boys' team enjoy their trophy for the simple fact that it ain't their fault. They shouldn't be sitting there ridiculed and made feel like they did something wrong and forced to say I'm sorry for something that they ain't sorry for, and just because it's all-inclusive some more. Cut it with the all-inclusive. Everybody can't be included in everything. I said this in a few videos back in the past weeks. Everybody can't be included in everything. There are some things that's going to be exclusive to some types of people, some types of environmental upbringing, if you will. Ouch, hey.
Save Women's Sport co-founder Catherine Deeds, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Peter. Have a good evening.
And she's from a place called Save Women's Sport.
Against an all-girls team.
She's from an organization called Save Women's Sports. Your organization should be called Use Common Sense. That's what you need an organization for. Common sense. Because it seems like shit ain't common no more. Everybody want to be included in everything. All right, that's cool. If you have a league and you want to be in something, make a petition for a division of something. State your case. Make it make sense. Start a whole league. All these millionaires running around here off this Bitcoin. Start a league. Buy some uniforms. Snoop Dogg did. I'm saying. There's other ways to get, like really. I don't know. I can't call it. I can call it, but don't nobody want to hear what the hell I got to say. Not on that. I want to come to that. Because you know why? Everybody's functioning on feelings. Stop with the feelings. Stop with the freaking all these titles. I can't even keep up with what the hell to call it. If you Mr., Mrs., freaking all these other, like, what the hell? Non-binary? You're never not. You can't be non-binary. That shit don't exist. You just don't claim it. Like, I don't understand how people is living like this. The lack of common sense. It just blows my freaking mind. How do you, the lack of common sense is like really what's like throwing me for a freaking loop because I'm trying to make sense out of something that don't make sense. It just don't. And I'm trying not to offend, but I'm borderline feeling like F it. Because people need to hear it raw. They need to hear it real, and they need to hear it how it really is. This don't make no damn sense. Now y'all mad at the boys team for being better at what they do than the girls team, able to be more physical, yada yada yada. The list goes on. GTFOH. Y'all on some. Hey. Oh. Some other stuff just popped into my head. I'm, you know what? I'm Aquarian OG, and I'm OUT. Help out the channel and subscribe to me. But I'm gonna get out of here before I get my ass in trouble. Cause this ain't making no sense. This ain't making no sense at all. The double standard, the lack of common sense. About 80% of it is the lack of common sense is like blowing my freaking mind. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? I don't know. I'm trying. Hey, I can't call it. All right, y'all. I'm deuces. I'm getting out of here before I get my ass in trouble. I'm Aquarian OG and I'm OUT.